All right. So like I brought up last time, I said it I think in the Lost Judgment, uh, the video for it, or the review. I want to do a quick little review for this. So I don't really need to go into like all the Lost Judgment stuff, but like for a oh yeah, I forgot Christina V's voicing in this. For it being like a short DLC game, it's, apart from like doing Yagami dirty, I think it's actually really good. It's a single mission, but it really like dives more into Kaito, which we don't see, or we don't get a whole lot when we are in the Judgment games, right? So the ability to, I was about to say, oh my god, have we already done with, so the ability to like see some of Kaito's history, the fact that we find out like, oh, like he had someone who he was like really into, and then we see just exactly how into her he was, and like just why, or what happened, why he's single now, and like this whole thing with like father son that Jun and Kaito are doing. I think it was really sweet. The seeing the like emotion coming out of Kaito is really cool, right? Like you already kind of know that it's there from the Judgment games, like the main games, the main stories. But like in the end, he's the muscle. He's your boy. He's Yagami's boy. But having this part where he like initially he turns down looking for Mikiko, but then turns around and like, okay, now this kid is possibly my son, and then you go into down that path of story, finding out, okay, that's not the case, but like, okay, now we should probably do something to help him, even though he may not actually be our son. Then this, like, I don't like villains that are like comically villain. So like this villain I wasn't so into. Like he's extremely sociopathic. Like he doesn't, everything is all like data to him. People are data. There's no emotional attachment from what he wants. So like I do think that I don't like him as a villain, just because I do think he's too comically evil. But there is a manipulation that is actually kind of interesting in regards to him. Like the whole thing that he brought up at the end with like, okay, the knife. Why he's terrified of knives was because he got slashed by I forget his name, the dad, as a way to teach him. But then you have that cool moment at the end of the game where where Jun is able to break free of that. I think that's a really cool moment for Jun. You have the whole argument with Mikiko about like, don't cross that line with murder. Kind of a similar thing to what Kiryu talks about. Maybe not necessarily with Haruka, but like with others. Like, don't cross that line. Because once you cross that line, it's all over. It was basically that line what he said with Nishiki. But then Nishiki lost it and then went down the whole murderous route. I like that there's like, I honestly, I kind of like that there's no side missions. It keeps it concise. It keeps it, it's not short. Like it is still like, what are we on? Almost 3 hours of this episode. It's still like a 9-hour game. A 9-hour piece of DLC. It's like a quarter or so of what I spent playing Lost Judgment. It's a fifth, actually. I think it was like 50 episodes. But then also this is a 1 to 3 hour long episode. Whatever. So I do like that it's pretty concise. The ending fight, I'm okay with. I wanted to see, like I brought up at the end of the battle, or at the beginning of that fight, I was like, I am fine. Like if he's like the hardest battle in here, I'm like, I'm fine with there being, with him being difficult. But I'm like, I'm usually fine with being beaten by Aemon. I was not about to lose to him, right? I'm like, I want my boy to be happy. I want my boy to get the girl that he's obviously so in love with. I want that second chance. I wanted to give him that second chance. So that's, and then like at the end with, or like when when Kaito wakes up and he has that moment on the roof with June, when Kaito wakes up in the hospital, like that moment on the roof was heartbreaking in a good way, right? Like, it's okay to not be okay.